I want to
Something about the
start asking you about that
axis
quote by
of the
Robert
earth.
Jackson, because he really, I think that is a widely shared view of House Republicans, but very confident
Something
they're
about
going to
the
take the House.
axis.
And the reason they are isn't necessarily because of political wins in their favor. They think
I read
they can cull enough seats just through redistricting in
that
states they control. Should we be
we may have
with
a
that
pole
as
shift.
the means by which a party
Well, I
takes
think
power?
our axis is this way, and we're
Well,
going to tip.
obviously, we should not be okay
to
with
this
that. That's
way.
something that we have been fighting at the NDRC since we began. back
It's
in
a
January
theory.
2017. Now, he is correct in the sense that that is what Republicans did the last time we redistricted it in 2011. We put in place gerrymanders that have lasted for the course of this decade. It's a gerrymander that led to Republicans in the first cycle after redistricting the 2012 elections. Republicans got 1.2 million fewer votes for the United States House of Representatives than the Democrats did, and yet got 33 more seats. We look at Wisconsin, where Democrats have gotten 54% of the vote, both for Congress and in state legislature, and end up with about a third of the seats. And so the possibility of a gerrymandering to achieve the results that we saw in 2011 is there, and it's something that has to be met. It has not gotten sufficient media attention. It has not gotten sufficient attention around the country. We focus on voting rights, and I get that. That is extremely important. It is extremely important. But, you know, you can have everybody fight their way through all of the obstructions that Republicans are going to put in place and run into a wall of gerrymandering that will basically negate the participation of huge numbers of people, and not only people of color. We got to get away from this notion that somehow or other this is a black fight, or this is a fight for people of color. This is an American issue. This is about the kind of democracy that we want to have. This is about keeping our system consistent with our founding ideals. This is something everybody ought to be focused on. Everybody needs to learn about, and it's why I focused on fighting against partisan and racial gerrymandering in my post-government life.
Yeah, and I want to focus on that for a second, because there's a really important aspect to this. So when Joe Manchin says, look, it's 800-page bill, there's all this stuff in there, and it's true, the For the People Act has a lot of provisions, and a lot of it, there's a lot of campaign finance stuff, which was just put aside, there's voting access, but independent commissions, nonpartisan gerrymandering is a big part of that bill. And it just seems to me that, there's two things to note about that. One is, it really would be nonpartisan in the sense of there are states that Democrats control where they could probably put the screws to Republicans on redistricting, and they would have to have independent jury commissions too. Like, it genuinely is the proposal in that bill a legitimately neutral means of handling this problem.
And it's in fact the thing that I think distinguishes us at the NDRC from those who oppose us. We support 100% the implementation of nonpartisan, independent redistricting commissions. In fact, we have fought to get them put in place in Michigan, Colorado, in Utah, got one in Missouri for the Republicans, then got it. Republicans never say that they are in favor of that. They understand that they've got to keep their thumb on the scale. They have to have an ability to impact the redistricting process in an unfair way if they are going to hold on to the power that they got illegitimate in 2011. So yeah, independent commissions are, I think, the best way to go about the redistricting process, and that is a core part of the For the People Act.
What do you think about, do you have advice to state legislatures controlled by Democrats? Because it does seem to me, and I've looked at people playing with some maps in places like New Mexico, for example, where, trifecta Democratic governments can try to do what Republicans have done in Wisconsin. Basically, put the screws to your opponents, use the power you have to pad your margins as much as possible, because until something like an independent commission happens, it's not gonna get any better. What do you think about that? What would be your advice to those folks?
I think we've got to fight for fairness. We don't need to do what Republicans did in 2011 and what they continue to say they're going to do in 2021. We're in a fundamentally different place in 2021 than we were in 2011. With all due respect to Congressman, Republicans don't follow the process to the extent in 2011. There is, in fact, the redistricting commission in Michigan. There is one in Colorado. There are reforms in Ohio. There is a legal precedent in North Carolina. there are a whole range of things that we have done over the course of these last 4 years to make the situation fundamentally better than it was in 2011. So we need not revert to lowering ourselves to do the kinds of things that Republicans do. If the system is fair, Democrats, progressives will do just fine. The will of the people will in fact be respected, and I think that should be the guidepost.
The reason that we're having this fight partly is because the Supreme Court has signed off on partisan gerrymandering as not in violation of any sort of constitutional principle or the one person, one vote line of cases. Recently, that same court, of course, by a 6-3 margin, basically upheld some provisions in Arizona that many thought ran afoul of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. What is your reaction to that, and what do you think about where things stand in the kind of broader spectrum of democracy protections underneath this court?
I think we need to be very worried about this court. They have demonstrated an ideological distaste for protecting the right to vote. We saw it in the Shelby County case in 2013. We saw it in the case that just came down, the British case just a couple of weeks or so ago. It was simply said, we gutted the Voting Rights Act in 2013. They're now saying, in the case that just held, they're almost giving the lower courts a guidepost for ways in which you can sanction that which Republican legislatures are doing. The opinion by Justice Alito is frightening, not only for the results of the particular things that they upheld in Arizona, those two provisions, but the language that is in that majority opinion is truly frightening. And I am really concerned about what we see coming out of our Supreme Court. It's one of the reasons why I think Democrats, progressives, people who care about this country have to focus on state and local elections. These legislatures, gerrymandered legislatures, are the ones that are producing these laws that the Supreme Court is upholding. And not only with regard to elections, with regard to reproductive rights, a whole range of other things. And so we need to be focused on state and local elections. We need to be involved in making sure that we use the state courts whenever we can, as opposed to the federal ones. I don't think that when it comes to election reform, that we're going to find a friend or friends on the United States Supreme Court. They are ideologically against voter protection.
It's painful for me to know that nearly every death we are seeing now from COVID-19 could have been prevented. I say that as someone who lost 10 family members to COVID-19 and who wishes each and every day that they had had the opportunity to get vaccinated. I see that also as a concerned father of 2 young children who aren't yet eligible for the vaccine. But I know that our kids are depending on all of us to get vaccinated to shield them from this virus. Every week, I talk to doctors and nurses across our country who are burning out as they care for more and more patients with COVID-19 who never got vaccinated, all too often because they were misled by misinformation.
Surgeon General Vivek Murthy sharing his personal experience today as he issued a warning on the dangers of misinformation around COVID, calling it the, quote, urgent threat that continues to risk lives and drag out this pandemic. And Dr. Vivek Murthy, the U.S. Surgeon General, joins me now. Doctor, you spoke in very personal terms, and I'm curious, I would imagine someone like yourself, I think all of us have had this experience, where you yourself have a big extended network, you have family members and friends of friends that maybe come to you with questions about the vaccine or misconceptions about it. Have you had that experience personally as well?
Well, Chris, absolutely. I think all of us likely have been touched by misinformation in some way, whether we know it or not. And I too have had family members who've received videos or messages on WhatsApp or on Facebook or on other platforms. And these have questions about whether the information is accurate or not. I'm glad when they ask me. What I worry about is people who see information and assume it's true when at times it's not. And if that leads them to make decisions that are bad for their health, then they lose out and their loved ones lose out as well. That is what we are fighting against, Chris. Health misinformation is costing us lives. It's hurting us. This is not a new problem, but it has gotten far worse, aided and abetted by technology platforms.
I want to relay something the White House Chief of Staff, Ron Klain, says that he told Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm quoting him here, he said, "I told Mark Zuckerberg directly, when we gather groups of people who are not vaccinated, and we ask them, why are you vaccinated? They tell us things that are wrong, tell us things that are untrue. We ask them where they've heard that. The most common answer is Facebook." That was him talking to Kara Swisher on Sway, which is her New York Times podcast. Do you guys have your arms around, like in any empirical sense or study data sense, where people are or are not getting this information?
Well, we've looked at some of the data, Chris, and what it tells us is that there's no single source of misinformation. It is coming from a variety of sources. Some of it is happening on social media platforms. Some of it is coming through videos that are being shared through text messaging platforms. It's coming through multiple sources, and that's why one of the issues that we laid out in the advisory, one of the calls to action that we put forward is one to individuals, to ask them to pause before they share on social media platforms or text platforms, to check the sources of the information they're about to share and ask, is it coming from a scientifically credible source? If it is, then it might be okay to share, but if it's not, or if you're not sure, then don't share. One of the most powerful things we can do to stop the spread of misinformation is to be more careful about what we choose to share.
You know, it seems that we still have two categories of people, and I just want to see if this jives with your characterization. The recent polling from Washington Post, ABC, 20% saying they definitely would not get vaccinated, and 29% unlikely to get vaccinated. It seems that there's still low-hanging fruit, or at least there's still a huge chunk of reachable people, whether it's just not having the opportunity, or it's just low on their to-do list, or they haven't gotten around to it. And then there's people that are hardcore set against it. But it does seem like, is it your understanding that a lot of people in that first category are yet to be vaccinated?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, Chris, because the numbers actually, to me, have a lot of good news in them. We have the highest vaccine confidence level about the COVID-19 vaccine that we've had since the vaccine became available. That's good news. It's happening in part because people are hearing from trusted sources. It's also happening because people know more and more people in their lives who have gotten vaccinated, and they see that they've done well. But there is still a group of people who are in the wait-and-see category, who are still nervous. Maybe they've been exposed to misinformation. Maybe they still have questions that they want answers to. Maybe they're not sure if it's still important for them to get vaccinated. And I will say on that last category, we've seen in some polls that about 50% of people who are unvaccinated believe that cases are so low right now during the pandemic that it's no longer important to get vaccinated. I want to say very clearly, it's still important to get vaccinated. We're seeing cases rise. We know that the cases and particularly the deaths are happening among people who are unvaccinated. 99.5% of deaths from COVID right now in the United States are among the unvaccinated. So I still believe there's progress we can make, but it's not going to be easy. We're going to work with trusted messengers. We've got to get information of where people are. We've got to recognize that everyone trusts the same people. And we've got to work through local doctors and nurses and others in their community to get information, life-saving information about this vaccine to people who need to hear it.
Turning out of politics, we have more this morning from the upcoming book by Washington Post reporters Carol Leonnig and Philip Rucker, entitled "I Alone Can Fix It," Donald Trump's words. This latest excerpt recounts former President Donald Trump's reactions to the January 6th Capitol attack. Reading from the book, quote, "Early on January 6th, Trump called Pence, who was spending the morning at his Naval Observatory residence before heading to the Capitol. Pence again explained the legal limits on his authority as vice president and said he planned to perform his ceremonial duty as prescribed by the Constitution. But Trump showed him no mercy. You don't have the courage to make a hard decision," he told Pence at 2:10 p.m. The first rioter entered the Capitol by breaking a window and climbing inside. A stream of Trump warriors followed him. At the White House, Trump was back in his private dining room watching everything unfold on television. Aides, including Dan Scavino and Kayleigh McEnany, popped in and out. The president was riveted. His supporters had heeded his call to march on the Capitol with pride and boldness. For Trump, there was no more beautiful sight than thousands of energetic people waving Trump flags, wearing red MAGA caps, and fighting to keep him in power. He thought, this is cool. He was happy, recalled one aide who was with Trump that afternoon. Then, when it turned violent, he thought, oh crap. As rioters were running through the Capitol, it was clear whom they were looking for. Some of them shouted, hang Mike Pence. Trump didn't exactly throw them off the hunt. At 2:24 p.m., the president tweeted, Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution. Back at the White House, Keith Kellogg, the vice president's national security advisor, was worried about Pence's safety and went to find Trump. Is Mike okay? The president asked. The Secret Service has him under control, Kellogg told Trump. Karen is there with the daughter. Oh? Trump asked. They're going to stay there until this thing gets sorted out, Kellogg said. Trump said nothing more. He didn't express any hope that Pence was okay. He didn't try to call the vice president to check on him. He just stayed in the dining room watching television. We should mention this account has not been independently confirmed by NBC News. Let's bring in NBC News and MSNBC national affairs analyst, host and executive producer at Showtime's The Circus, and host of the Hell and High Water podcast from The Recount, John Hallman. New York Times reporter and MSNBC national security analyst, Michael Schmidt. And Casey Hunt joins us as well. Casey, we heard your announcement this morning. I've known about it. I'm practicing some radical acceptance right now, and it is not working. I've been with you on this journey, and so it's a dialectical. I can't accept it, and I'm really proud of you. So we'll talk more about this later. Michael Schmidt and John Hallman. Hallman, I'll go to you first. We can all talk to Casey a little bit more about this, but Hallman, the quotes from the book, and the lack of any care for his vice president, it starts right there. What are your reactions?
Well, hey, good morning, Nika, and it's been this period the last week or two where we're starting to see these inside accounts. The one that we're focusing on this morning, Rucker and Carol Lennig, it's just the last couple of days have provided an incredible amount of fodder. Almost all of it, in some sense, confirming and making vivid and making real a lot of things that we all kind of felt in our guts, or we did through some reporting, and we saw some contemporaneous reporting. But these guys have gone so deep now into really kind of putting flesh on the bones to just how, not just how, what a perilous moment it was for the country, and just how dangerous Donald Trump was. Those are the big headlines here, it seems to me. When you talk about the same book yesterday about the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and his concerns about a Reichstag moment, and now once we have the excerpt this morning, it almost is staggering as Trump's total lack of care for Mike Pence. And again, we sort of knew he was tweeting, attacking Pence at the moment when Pence was in physical mortal danger. We talked about this on the show in real time or shortly thereafter. But almost as stunning as that in this excerpt is another fact that we basically knew, but really comes through glaringly, which is, where is Donald Trump, Commander-in-Chief? Where is Donald Trump in the residence, on the phone, talking to military leaders, talking to the National Guard, talking to anyone where he could be of assistance in trying to quell this violence as it was unfolding? Instead of passive, and both levels we see enjoying the sight of his minions acting with what he would consider strength, and on the other side kind of acting with total human disregard for his completely loyal vice president for 4 years, but just so completely disengaged from the most fundamental constitutional obligation he had, and still at that point for another 16 days, which was, to protect the United States of America against enemies foreign and domestic. Here, the country the Capitol was under siege by enemies who were domestic, and Donald Trump is doing nothing, if anything, making the situation worse.
We want to turn back to the revelations that we're learning from the upcoming book by Washington Post reporters Carol Leonnig and Philip Rucker. The book is entitled I Alone Can Fix It, which is a quote by Donald Trump. In just a few minutes, we will be speaking with the U.S. Surgeon General about the resurgence of COVID among the unvaccinated. And one of the things we'll be talking about is the disinformation that's being spread out there, a lot through Trump followers, Trump supporters, who believe the former president in the big lie, and also somehow their vaccine hesitancy is tied to Trump, even though Trump got the vaccine. We'll be talking about all of that, also some stunning new revelations from the book. The excerpt that we're going to be talking about coming up exclusive to Morning Joe, and Leonnig and Rucker describe former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie's contentious relationship with Rudy Giuliani. Let's dive into it. Quote, on November 22nd, Chris Christie said on television what many in Trump world have been saying privately, appearing that Sunday on ABC's This Week. The longtime Trump confidant sized up the president's representation. If you've got the evidence of fraud, present it. And what's happened here is, quite frankly, the president's legal team has been a national embarrassment. Christie calling Trump's lawyers a national embarrassment generated news headlines. Giuliani had been close with Christie for decades, but was pissed off, feeling as if he had been stabbed in the back. He called him, "We're friends. What are you doing?" An angry Giuliani asked Christie. "Rudy, this is ridiculous," Christie replied. "You need to stop." Giuliani admonished Christie and said he would be embarrassed once he saw all the evidence the Trump team had compiled that proved the election had been rigged. "Well, if you want us to fight with you, arm us with the facts," Christie said. Let me tell you something. When I was U.S. Attorney and you were U.S. Attorney, if an assistant U.S. Attorney came to us with this crock of bull, you know what? We would have kicked them out of our offices. So act like you're U.S. Attorney again, not like you're a lawyer for Donald Trump. The two men ended the call on bitter terms. The friendship between Christie and Giuliani apparently was a casualty of Trump's quest to retain power. Giuliani, your spokesman, disputed that this conversation has ever happened, of course. Let's bring in former U.S. Senator, now an NBC News and MSNBC political analyst, Claire McCaskill, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist and associate editor of the Washington Post, and MSNBC political analyst Eugene Robinson, and host of the podcast On Brand with Donnie Deutsch, and Casey Hunt is still with us as well for like 1 hour and 45 minutes. I can't even believe it. We'll talk about that coming up. It's just unspeakable. Claire McCaskill, your reaction to the revelations in the book about the rift that developed between Chris Christie and Rudy Giuliani.
If this special committee does anything, it should take the American people inside of that small dining room and to orient people as to where this is. You basically walk in the Oval Office, and there's a hallway to your right. You would have a very short hallway, and at the end of that hallway is a small dining room. Donald Trump tricked out that dining room with a bunch of TVs. This was his little cave where he would watch, mostly on an endless loop, cable news. It was good for him. The propaganda stations that were pushing his stuff. I want the American people to get inside that room and realize what was going on in this guy's head. And this is what this book begins to lay out for us. That is that he was in that room and he was tickled pink. He thought this was terrific, that these people were mobbing our nation's capital. And he refused for a long time to exercise the power that he alone had, and that was to stop the violence against law enforcement in our nation's capital and to stop the threats against his own vice president. That is the most stunning fact that we all have to circle back to over and over and over again.
Another excerpt from the book exclusive to us this morning. This one details former Attorney General Bill Barr's realization that President Trump would probably lose the 2020 election. Quote, as spring of 2020 wore on, Barr came to believe that President Trump was squandering his hopes for re-election. It felt all too familiar. He had experienced the same premonition of an election slipping away when he had been Attorney General in the final year of George H.W. Bush's presidency. Barr scheduled a meeting with Trump in the Oval Office. Just two of them alone. He wanted a truly private conversation. I feel you are going to lose the election, Barr said. I feel you are actually losing touch with your own base. Barr explained that in his travels around the country. He had talked to a lot of people in law enforcement and other solid Trump supporters who were uncomfortable with the president's focus on skewering his perceived enemies rather than on clear, consistent plans to steer the country safely through the pandemic and shore up the economy. Willie?
The report goes on in the book, quote, the only reason you won last time, Mr. President, is because of the grab them by the pee comment, Barr said, according to the account he shared with others. It actually scared you not to listen to Kellyanne, and for the last several weeks you behaved yourself and you won by a hair. This time it's different. You cannot wait until the end. I feel a sense of deja vu, which is, I think you're going to lose this election, Barr continued. I think that if you wanted to, you could walk into a second term, COVID and all. You could go down in history as an amazing president, and it is yours for the taking. But it's about you, and you're turning off enough people to lose this election. The book reports Trump was oddly silent, not interrupting or trying to regain the floor as he usually did. The president had listened without emoting for a long time. He did not ask any questions. He did not push back. Now, as Barr's spiel came to an end, Trump nodded and said he appreciated the advice. Barr left hopeful. The president had really taken his message to heart, but he could not be sure. Claire McCaskill, there's undoubtedly some reputation laundering going on here on the part of former Attorney General Bill Barr with this book and other comments he's made where he wanted to get out there that he thought the claims of election fraud were untrue and that he made that known at the time. But what do you make about this push and pull? The one thing that jumped out to me is him telling Donald Trump, you're losing your base. Well, that was patently untrue. Donald Trump still got 74 million votes in that election.
Well, here's what I have to say about Bill Barr. I mean, I'm glad that he talked to the authors of this book. But this is not going to work for him. He was a hack attorney general. He was an attorney general that gave a short shrift to the rule of law and to the norms that this country expects when it comes to separation of politics and the Department of Justice. He did this president's bidding in unspeakable ways. And if you don't believe me, you ask the lying prosecutors in the Department of Justice. You ask the people who were undercut by Bill Barr when he did ridiculous things like trying to undo.
Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected. You answered softly. You are the children's eyes. and the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight, the narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing, we're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love. Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, and you answered softly. You are the children's eyes, and the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flowers that grow. We'll have children the kingdoms they won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we'll meet again here on this earthly plane. I'll see all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing, we're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love. Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, and you answered softly. You heard the children's eyes and the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth and the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdoms. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we'll meet again here on this earthly plane. I'll see all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. straight and narrow path. I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing. We're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love. Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, you answered softly. You are the children's eyes and the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth and the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we'll meet again here on this earthly plane. I'll see all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path. I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing. We're his creation. We'll have children Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, you answered softly. You are the children's eyes, and the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flower.
Gino has a V. Gino has a V. It represents him. It's like Old English font, but not script. Print. I have to think it through the next part, because he says it's similar to the N, but it is the symbol for Haaretz newspaper. Haaretz. And that's Israeli, I guess. So, it seems to me there's another Israeli newspaper that I can't think of, not the Jerusalem Post. And I know Al Jazeera is Arab. But Haaretz. So anyway, Gino is represented by an Old English V that is printed, not handwritten. Print, not script. Jesus. His V is black, and the Haaretz symbol is an N. I think it's green, but I'm not 100%. This is black. So, I don't know if his letter is connected to the Haaretz letter, or if Gino is connected to Israel. I don't think it means real. V-R-I-L. I don't think it means real. I don't know.
We'll have children of the kingdom just. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing.
Seems different.
We're his creation. We'll have children Jean. Last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, you answered softly. You are the children's eyes, and the days gone by. Oh, Virgin, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth and the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice.
Oh, I went that way.
Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we'll meet again here on this earthly plane. I'll see all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing, we're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love. Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, you answered softly. You are the children's eyes, and the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy, it's destiny that we'll meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight, the narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come, to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing, we're his creation. We have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love. Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, you answered softly. You are the children's eyes, and the days gone by.
Will you protect my thoughts? I'm very grateful
Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice.
Anyway.
Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. Part the straight and narrow path. I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing. We're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love.
Sounds so different.
Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, you answered softly.
She would have been dead.
You heard the children's eyes. And the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy, it's destiny that we'll meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing. We're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love. Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, and you answered softly. You heard the children's eyes and the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again.
Exactly the provision of the sound.
Into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth and the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love just us. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we meet again here on this earthly plane. I'll see all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. Part the straight and narrow path. I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing. We're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, Jean. Last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, you answered softly. You heard the children's eyes, and the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth and the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we'll meet again here on this earthly plane. I'll see all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. It is the object of our longing, we're his creation. To have children of the kingdom, they won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love. Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, and you answered softly. You held the children's eyes, and the days gone by. Oh, Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, and the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing, we're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love. Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, and you answered softly. You heard the children's voice and the days gone by. Oh, Eugene, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth and flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised
How much do you list for memories, Father? I've been playing with our own actions now. From the firm,
forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing. We're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love. Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, and you answered softly. You are the children's eyes, I'm the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by wars, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we'll meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the is the object of our longing. We're His creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love.
You're just trash,
Oh,
man.
Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, and you answered softly. You are the children's eyes. Days go by. Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth and the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy, it's destiny that we'll meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing. We're His creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love. Jean. Last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, you answered softly. You are the children's eyes, and days gone by. Oh, Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, united black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate, for yours and great our destinies. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing, we're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate, or hesitate to love. Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, you answered softly. You are the children's eyes, and days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we meet again here on this earthly plane. See all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. Part the straight and narrow path, I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come. We'll build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing. We're His creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate.
I was drifting out to sleep and figuring things out, listening to Ruby Jean and Billy Lee, and then I have to get up now for some reason. I like figuring things out. I don't know what you want me to do.
Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, and you answered softly. You are the children's eyes, I'm the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom, Joshua. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we meet again here on this earthly plane. I'll see all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, and I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the promised land. We'll go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing.
The children of God have been genetically modified not to
We'll have children of the kingdom.
not to succumb to prion disease or prions.
Will they will or hate or hesitate to love? Oh, Ruby Jean, last night I dreamed I was running somewhere beyond the stars. I called out to you, and you answered softly. You are the children's eyes, I'm the days gone by. Oh, Ruby Jean, it doesn't seem like a long, long time since we were born again into the dazzling light, uniting black and white. You are the rich brown earth, I'm the flowers that grow. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love justice. Oh, Billy Lee, it's destiny that we meet again here on this earthly plane. I'll see all the world with you, but you'll have to help me through. You are the straight and narrow path, and I'm the wayfarer. Oh, Billy Lee, we shall be free in the years to come to help build the go where the day springs run forever and live as one. He is the object of our longing. We're his creation. We'll have children of the kingdom. They won't be torn by war, nor will they kill or hate or hesitate to love.
It sounds like we have been genetically modified to be protected in the environments of the earth. Something like that. Children of God. I'm gonna upload this